Okay, so here are the materials needed. We have our fabric, that is our fabric, and this here is our lining. Here are the patterns. We have the pair of scissors, there are two. This small one is for cutting small cuts. Okay, we have our tape measure. Here we have the pins, and I'm going to use these pins. So first, let us start by cutting the fabric. As usual, make sure when you are folding your fabric, the right side of the fabric are facing each other. So you see these notches here. Now use your small scissor, make a small cut to mark the notch on the fabric. Do the same for the other pieces too. So we have already cut all the pieces, the fabric pieces, and here for the sleeve we had cut 2 pieces. Okay, now moving on to the peplum pieces, the front right piece. Okay, remember our center front is on this other side, we only 1 piece. Also for the left piece we had only 1 piece of the material. The fabric was not folded. For this one we had 2 pieces. I folded the materials and I had 2 pieces for the back peplum. Okay, and for the top pieces, that is for the back, and this one here is for the front. Now cutting the lining pieces, we are going to have the same number of pieces as we did with the fabric. Okay, however, for the top pieces, the front and the back pieces, I did not want to have separate pieces of lining for these pieces. Okay, so remember when I was cutting the fabric pieces, I separated these pieces. Okay, just like that. And so now I have joined them, and I will use this 1 piece here. For example, this one is for the back. I'll cut the lining, which is going to have a dart for the back, and this one here, it will be the front piece, and it's also going to have the dart. So here we are done cutting the lining. Okay, this one here is for our back lining. It is just 1 piece with the dart. Okay, for the front, this is the lining piece that we have, and these others are the rest of the pieces. Now we are going to start by taking care of our top pieces. I'm going to take care of this dart for the lining, and for the fabric itself I need to join these pieces. We have this shoulder seam, so we are going to join them there, and I will do the same also for the back pieces. So here I've started to join the pieces. If it is okay with you that you can sew directly, it's okay, but for me I need to first join these pieces with pins. Okay, so now let us start to stitch. Our allowance is 0.5 inches. So when you start sewing and when you are finishing sewing, remember to sew a closing stitch going back and forth. Okay, so here are the pieces. We are ready. We have already joined our shoulder seam. This is our front piece and this is our back piece. Okay, so we have already also ironed. Let me show you from inside. I've ironed, making sure this part of the fabric is facing outside. Okay, so our next step, we want to sew very close to the very first stitch, very close. Okay, all the way down. You see, that is a stitch that we made. It is very close to the very stitch that we made, and we made it from outside. Okay, so now we are going to make a second stitch a 1/4 inch distance apart from our first one, all the way down. Okay, so you can see that is how it looks. Okay, it is only a 1/4 distance apart from the first one. Okay, and let me show you how it looks from inside. This is from inside. Okay, so when you are sewing your second stitch, make sure it does not go beyond this piece of material. Okay, make sure it is on that piece of the material so that it can lay flat well. All right. Okay, so that is how it looks. Let us finish with the other side of our back piece and take care also of our front piece. Okay, so next we are going to take care of the neckline. So before doing that, we must face join the shoulder. We are going to join the shoulder of the fabric, making sure the right side are facing each other. And then after that, we are also going to take care of the shoulder of the lining. So here we are done. The shoulders are joined for our fabric as well as for the lining. Another thing to remind you, after joining the shoulder, make sure that you iron. As you can see here, we have opened the seam from inside so that we reduce the bulkiness when we are joining it to the lining. Okay, so now let us take care of our neckline. First, you open the lining. Okay, you can start with the lining or the fabric, and that is where our neckline is. Okay, and this is our right side. And then take your fabric, place it on top of the lining like this, making sure the right sides are facing each other. And now align the shoulder line. After making sure it aligns well, now first pin on this side and also do the same on the other side too. So after attaching this shoulder, now that it is in place, make sure that the whole neckline is attached. As you can see here, that is our center back. Okay, and now we have to sew all around our neckline. Okay, so here our neckline is done. First iron and then make small cuts all around the neckline. Okay, so after that we are going to turn our fabric. As you can see, this part of the fabric has to turn and face that part of the lining, and then iron and then sew on top of it. So here we are, our neckline is done. So now it is time for us to join the peplum. These are the peplum pieces. We have the right piece, the back, the two back pieces, and the left piece of the front. So we are going to start with this, the right piece and the back pieces of the peplum. Okay, first remove the pattern. So this is our back piece, and that is our center back line. So with our right piece, that is our center front, we are going to sew that part, and the down part we are going to leave the upper part. And for our back, we are going only to sew the down part, and we are going to leave the side seam, the up and the center back. Okay, so next, make sure you make the seams flat by sewing on the top. Of course, you cannot go up to the corner, but make it up to where it is possible. You do the same also for the back pieces. So now let us get to the left piece of the front peplum. We have already done the back and the right piece. So this is our left piece. That is the one which has this design here, as you can see. Okay, so let us take out the pattern, and that is our center front, our waist and our bottom part. and this is where our design is going to be, and we must put this stabilizer because we are going to sew this part and the down part. So before sewing we must attach this stabilizer. We call it interface here in Tanzania. So I'm putting it on the side of the fabric, so making sure the sticky part is on the wrong side of the fabric, and then you are going to iron on top. Okay, so here we are done. Now we are going to sew on this part and the down part. Right front piece of the peplum, the two pieces of the back, and our left front piece. So here I have attached the fabric and the lining just for easy handling of this piece of the material. Okay, so it is not a must. If you can do it without that, it's okay. So now let us start by attaching our peplum pieces, and we're going to start with the back. That is our center back line. Okay, that is our right side, making sure it is on the right side of our top piece, and the center back align well, as you can see, so that when you turn it, it will be like this. Okay, so attach both pieces so you can see that this is how it is going to look, okay, for both sides. Now let us take care of the front side of our top. Now for the front side, these are the pieces, okay? There are two, and that is our right side. Okay, so for our right side we have this small piece of the peplum, okay, which is going to end up at the center front, and on the left we have this part of the peplum which has that design, and it will be on our left. So when you are attaching these pieces, one thing to remember is this part of the design, it has to be on top, okay, so that after sewing, when you turn, it will look like this. Okay, so we are done with the attaching of our peplum pieces. Okay, that is our center front, and this one here starts here at the dart. So we have already done the front and the back. Now the next step for us is to join the sleeve. So again, here I have attached the lining and the fabric for just easy handling. Just to remind you of the design, this is our sleeve, and these two pieces is the top piece and not this the bottom piece. This is the top piece of our sleeve. That's it, the one. And you can see here we have already joined our sleeve, as you can see. Okay, this here is from our right, and I've also sewn the side seam. This is on the side where the peplum, they are symmetrical in length, and I've also done the other part of the sleeve as well as the side seam of that part too. Okay, so now let us attach the bottom part of our sleeve. Okay, so back to the design, the bottom design. I took the same width, that is 38, but because of the gatherings I added 25 centimeters more. Okay, you might think it is too much, but remember we need to have the gatherings. So for the length from here to here, I decided to have 13 centimeters plus 5 centimeters because I needed allowance at the top when we are joining it to the sleeve, the top part of the sleeve, and at the bottom here we are going to have to sew elastic case. We need to put elastic for this design. Okay, and so here are the pieces. So first step, we are going to sew the 2 stitches, okay, for us to be able to make the gatherings. Okay, so after that, make sure you separate. Just take 1 stitch, 1 thread from each line, and then start to pull. As you can see from here, that's how you are going to be making your gatherings. Okay, so here we are. The gatherings are ready. You are going to adjust them so that they are going to fit the width of our sleeve, okay? Because we are going to attach it at this part of the sleeve, okay? That part of the sleeve. So making sure that these gatherings are able to fit into that width. So our next step now is to attach this piece into our sleeve, making sure the right sides are facing each other and the side seam align well, and then go around. You can do it directly or you can attach the pin as I did before start sewing. So here it is already attached. Then I joined the side seam, as you can see. Then let us sew the hem. I've already folded, as you can see, 1 inch hem. So here we are done, and I've left a small opening near the side seam where we are going to put or to enter our elastic band. So here is our elastic band. It is 11 inch long. At one end put this pin, as you can see, the safety pin. So this pin will guide us while entering the elastic band all around. So as you can see, one side we have secured it with a pin, and when we are finishing, we are taking the safety pin out. As you can see from here, then we can get rid of the other pin and use the safety pin to hold the two ends together. Now secure these two ends together, and so here I decided to stitch by hand. Now adjust the elastic band and sew the opening part. So here our sleeve is ready. And now let us look at the zipper. Here it is, all the way up to the end. As you can see here, that's where we are going to have a slit, but I was not able to sew down here with a machine, okay? So I'm going to finish here by hand, and so we are going to have a very short slit. So if you prefer to have a long slit, then you need to move your zipper a bit higher, okay? And then let us see at the end, at the top, okay? Here we are, but we need to finish it well. So what we are going to do, here at the top, we are going to turn our zipper inside and then close it like this, okay? And then we are going to sew here at the top with a machine or by hand. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and let us meet again on the next video. Bye.